Oh, it's good fun. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Millie Automotive and today I'm with the GR Yaris, the all new GR Yaris. And I've really enjoyed it. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm a massive hot hatch enthusiast. I'm partial to a Golf GTI and I have owned Abarths in the past. My favourite hot hatch to date has been the Golf GTI TCR, which I owned for a few years. Now, I have never understood what the hype about these cars have been. To me, that's just your nan's runaround. Now, obviously it's not, it's a lot more than that and we'll go into details later, but I don't know if I can get past the fact that it is a Yaris. Now, I have driven this car quite a lot today and I have changed my mind just a little bit. But let's go and have a look around and see how it's changed and then go for the all-important drive. So when the first GR Yaris was created, I was going to say born, I guess it was born, it had the most powerful 3-cylinder engine available. Now it doesn't anymore, but they have had some major increases. Now I haven't actually driven the previous model, so I can't compare them directly. However, after this video, I am going to try the previous generation so I can properly compare them. But for me, this is a fresh start. I've just driven this Yaris. This is meant to be the best GR Yaris to date. And I think it's a pretty fantastic thing to drive, but we will go for a drive later. Now let's talk statistics. So we've got a 3-cylinder 1.6 turbocharged engine, and I'm telling you, you can hear that turbo. The turbo whistle is so much fun. I love it. Now, it has 276 brake horsepower, which is 19 brake horsepower more than the previous model. We also have 390 Newton meters of torque, which is 30 Newton meters more than the previous model. Now you may be thinking, that is not much of a change, but I think it is. It's a bit like a stage 1 remap, isn't it? You have that bit of extra power, and I think it does make all the difference. But I can't actually quote on that because I haven't driven it. But I have been around people today and they have said it does feel a bit quicker.
We now also have a new 8-speed automatic gearbox option with competition standard rapid shifting, but let's test that out later. It comes with a 6-speed manual as well like before, but it's now got a new dual mass flywheel so that the unit is capable of handling up to 430 Nm of torque. So we now get a tailor-made chassis with increased body rigidity, strengthened suspension, full-time all-wheel drive with 2 limited slip differentials managing the left and right drive balance. Driver can now adjust the all-wheel drive settings to suit conditions on their preference using the mode, and we have new selectable drive modes.
Let's talk about the outside and how it looks, because I do really like the look of this. It's almost every panel on this car is different to the normal Yaris, so it's a bit like an Abarth, isn't it? People comment and go, it's just a Fiat, but it is. This is less of a Toyota than the Fiat is an Abarth. This has literally changed every single thing on it apart from 2 things, I believe,
which are the door mirrors and the roof antenna.
I really like the styling of it. I think for me it's missing something. I think it is because it's a Yaris. I think this is the problem. I just can't get over that. Now, I really like the look of them.
So the car I've got is precious metal grey, which is a new colour. However, I will say I think these cars look completely different in the white and the red. I think they look fantastic and it really makes the features all stand out.
From the back, they're really meaty, they're wide, they've got the big exhaust, but unfortunately the exhausts don't sound that great, and when we go for a drive I'll show you guys.
Exterior-wise, there haven't been too many changes from the previous model, so we've now got a new lower grille and enlarged side grille to enhance cooling performance, and we've also got a relocated rear fog light and reversing light. I think it overall just looks more modern.
I do like the styling, and we'll go inside now and I'll show you what the interior is like, because this one has red seat belts which are very nice and they add a nice touch to it. So interior wise, this has been completely redesigned with input from professional race drivers. So the driving seat is completely centered around you. It's angled towards the driver as you'd expect it to be. Now I will say the seats are absolutely lovely. They're very comfortable, they hug you in. We've got the GR logo on the seat and red stitching. And in this particular model, we have really nice red seat belts. Now, apart from that, it doesn't really feel very sporty in here, I won't lie. We've got a bit of red stitching on the steering wheel, but I don't know where this is where I'm more GTI. I feel like there's not enough. There's no red sort of line around on the dashboard. It's very cheaply made. You can tell it's scratchy plastics everywhere. And I know it's not meant to be a luxurious car, but I would like a bit of Alcantara somewhere. If you're driving this every day, let's be honest, the average person isn't taking this on track every single day. They'll be driving it, and I think you want something to be quite plush and nice, especially with the price tag. Now, it's got everything you need: cruise control, Apple CarPlay. We've got the start-stop button here, which is a bit strange, and the drive mode is just behind the gear selector, and I'd like that to be a button, I won't lie. I feel like that should be replaced with where the hazard lights are. But other than that, I quite like it in here. At least we have physical buttons, guys. We have physical buttons for the aircon, because there's nothing worse than when it's hot, like right now. I'm very hot. Just turn the aircon on after I finish with you guys, because you won't hear me with the aircon, and just be done with it. And the screen isn't too big, and I like the fact that it's integrated. It's not flung out on the top like a lot of cars are on the dashboard. So overall, I quite like it in here. The rear doesn't get the Alcantara on the seats, it just gets leather. We've got some cup holders, there's quite a lot of space, but as you'd expect for a car this size. Right, so I've told you about the changes and what's different with this car. Now, obviously I've said I haven't driven the previous model, so this is completely new to me. Now, I have driven these cars quite a lot today. I've driven the manual, which is the 6-speed manual, and they've basically changed that by adding a flywheel, which means that you can get up to 430 newton meters of torque out of it now, which is interesting. So drove the manual, really enjoyed it. And now it's time to go in the automatic. So the automatic is new for this car. Now, apparently they have competition standard rapid shifting. Now, I'll be honest, earlier when I was driving it, didn't feel like that, but I've realised I was only in normal mode, because obviously I've just got into this car. I couldn't actually find the mode button, which was hidden, which is now quite obvious. But I'm excited now to go out for a drive and see how this performs in sport, which I didn't do before. So let's go. It's very hot today, so I don't feel like I can push it that much. It literally said no excessive driving due to heat, so it's 28 degrees currently, and I've got to remember to go on the right side of the road. Do you know what? Even in sport, I will say, unfortunately, the gears they don't change up as fast as I'd want them. So second, pressed it, now it's changed up. Third, it's changed up now. Fourth, changed up. There's a delay. There is definitely a delay in changing up, which is a real shame. I actually don't rate the gearbox that much, if I'm being honest with you, which is a real shame. It just doesn't feel as responsive. I mean, I feel like, obviously you guys know I am a GTI enthusiast, and I feel like maybe a DSG would win here, which is actually a real shame, I'm not going to lie, because obviously the gearbox is quite important. But I will say the manual was a lot of fun. I personally, in this car, don't really see the point in getting an automatic unless you're daily driving it and you want something that's a bit fun and rally-esque, that you can drive long distances. But the manual was so easy to drive, and the clutch was quite high, but apart from that, like, I feel like you can really get the true potential out of this car with it being a manual. But I love that they've added the 8-speed gearbox option, because it just gives you more choice. It's completely user dependent, like what you want to buy. But yeah, this thing is still quick. I'm telling you, this thing is quick. It's like, for a tiny little thing, it's so much fun. Like, I get it, and I will say, does it live up to the hype? I think I'll let you know at the end of the video. Also, it has the most... Oh, the sunglasses are gone, that's a good test. It actually has the coolest turbo whistle. Oh, it's good fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's good fun to drive. Woo! Is it worth the hype? Absolutely. The only negative for me is the fact that it doesn't have a great exhaust, and I know that's mainly due to emissions, and if you bought one you could definitely do your own thing with it, but I feel like it's just missing that sound and that raw thing. Now you get the turbo whistle, which is really cool. The gear changes in the automatic gearbox are quite loud, and also it's got this really annoying thing with the speed limiter. If you go 1 mile an hour over it, beeps at you a lot.
Now, there are also 2 limited edition Yarises coming, and this is their hydrogen exploration. So, the GR Yaris's turbocharged 3-cylinder engine has been converted to run on hydrogen. Engineering study uses elements from the Toyota Mirai hydrogen fuel cell electric sedan, including hydrogen tanks installed in the GR Yaris's boot. It demonstrates how the existing internal combustion engine can be adapted to use carbon neutral hydrogen. And apparently it is going up the hill at Goodwood, so let's look out for that this weekend.
So what are my overall opinions on this car? Now, I think I may have been converted, guys. I'm not going to say I'd swap a GTI TCR for it, because that still remains my favourite hot hatch of all time. I feel like this is very cool, and I can understand there's an audience for these. Now for me, I'd like something, I know GR has heritage and history, but I'd like something with a bit more heritage, like a Golf. Now that is just me, and I understand people, it's completely personal preference, isn't it, at the end of the day. Now this thing has really surprised me. It's grippy, it's fun, it drives really well. It half scares you, but that's part of the fun of it. Now, I will say, I think I prefer the manual, but I need to try it in right-hand drive to get the full experience, because obviously when you're driving left-hand drive, it's a bit, oh, you got to get used to it. Now, today I've enjoyed the automatic more, purely because I'm on the other side of the road. Now, I think that sort of explains it, isn't it? So, automatic, I think, if you wanted something that's a daily, you wanted something a bit fun, but you're doing, I don't know, loads of miles on it, you may want an automatic. And I think it's great that they've given the opportunity to add the automatic to the market, but I would still get a manual, because this is so fun in the manual. I think that's part of the fun, is changing the gears. It's a proper car. You're really connected with the car. Price is quite expensive, as I showed earlier. Is it worth? What I'll be interested to see is trying the previous shape Yaris and seeing, is it worth the price difference? That is what I want to know. So comment down below and let me know what you guys think of the new GR Yaris. Do you like it? Or can you not get past the fact that it looks like your nan's runaround? Let me know in the comments, and remember to like, comment and subscribe for more YouTube videos in the future. Bye.